Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm doing my monthly portfolio review. This is where I talk about my options income, how that went over. I'm going to talk about my dividend stocks. As you know, I'm in those income ETFs. And talk about the changes I made in that area of my portfolio. And then I'll also show you my income from various sources, including my real job. And you can see what I made from YouTube so far as well. First off, let's talk about the options. Obviously, if you look at this, you can see I had a pretty bad month in February. And honestly, most of that was because I got greedy and bought some out-of-the-money puts on Tesla. Basically, I thought Tesla had a good chance to go down, and I decided to gamble about $22,000 on that play. And sure enough, Tesla did not go down. Basically, I was targeting like a huge move, and at one point, Tesla did jump down to our level of support, and I was at like $12,000 profit. But the market still looked really red, and I thought I was going to fall through. And with the move that I thought Tesla could do, I thought I could make like $300,000 to $600,000 because I had like 300 contracts of Tesla puts. I absolutely got blinded by some greed there and was looking at the potential outcome rather than taking like a short, quick gain, or actually just thinking more about risk profile overall. But I saw an opportunity to make a quick buck, take a shot. I took a shot, it missed. It just goes to show you that like when you're playing with options, especially if you're buying out of the money stuff, only do it with money that you can afford to lose because there's a good chance you're going to lose it. Yeah, that was my lottery play that missed, and I have to look at that negative 24K on my chart forever now, which is just kind of stinks, but you know, it was a shot. I took it. I'm not too upset about it. I'm more so upset that I didn't take the win when I had a chance to do it. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump to the dividends. So you can see in February, I collected $1,083 in dividends. And that mostly came from JEPI, QYLD, NUSI, and Devo. So JEPI, I dripped 3 shares with that. QYLD dripped 14, paying me $300. NUSI was my big payer at $488. And then Devo gave me $116. And obviously MFA only pays out once every 3 months, so no action from them. Now, if you have a keen eye, you're seeing that my shares in the next column changed drastically for March. And that's because I did sell all of my NUSI position. I was very disappointed with how NUSI performed. I thought it gave more downside protection, but it's actually more like crash protection. So by having NUSI instead of QYLD, you're giving up option income or premium income that you can get from selling the cover calls, because you're taking some of that and you're buying puts with it, and they're not selling cover calls on everything. So I'm giving up a lot of potential income for crash protection, and that's not something I'm really looking for. I thought NUSI would hold its value better in this type of market, actually. So because it's not doing what I thought it would do, and I don't care about crash protection, I completely cut it out of my portfolio and basically moved most of it into QYLD. I did buy some JEPI and Devo. My weightings, when I took a snapshot of the prices here, Devo's now up to 19.6, JEPI's up to 19, so those are closer to 20%. QYLD's at 61%. I kind of view QYLD and NUSI as interchangeable in my portfolio makeup, so that's why I was fine with moving a majority of it into QYLD. And you can see before, QYLD and NUSI was 45%. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong column there. Before, 46 plus 18. What is that? 64%. So actually, QYLD is down to 61%, and the others got bumped up. I know this chart looks crazy. It's just me figuring out how many shares I'm going to buy of everything. At one point, you can see I was really thinking about dumping a lot into like Devo and JEPI, but I ultimately decided to go with QYLD for that increased income. And so with those changes, I wanted to see what my dividends would look like going forward and how those would play out. And you could see the dividend would increase to $16,737 for the year, assuming that they all paid out the same dividend that they do now, which, you know, that can change drastically month to month. I went through and calculated how all the drips would work with these shares that they would get in. And you can see basically I get like $11 more a month in income every month with this current makeup. February, I only gained $7 in income, and that's because January QYLD paid out like a massive double dividend, basically. Also, MFA paid out on this month, so that's why 15 was up here. But then now the norm should be about 11 to 12 bucks every month, and then 15 when MFA pays out. And that's just all passive income. And now I'm going to switch to my brokers. You can see that, you know, those are the positions that I have. Oh, Did QYLD just buy more? I'll have to check on that. Go ahead and pull up my trade log. And yeah, oh, okay, that's a nice surprise. I didn't even know that QYLD paid out like this week. Okay, well, that's cool. So I'll have to update my sheets. You can see this is where I sold Nusi. So Nusi, like I let it drip first so that I won't have to worry about any tax loss sales. Let it drip first, and then I sold it and made my movement into the other stuff. Go to this view because I know people like this view. You can see because I bought the dip on QYLD, instead of being at negative 8%, it's now down to 3.1% because I averaged down drastically by picking up like 3,000 shares. My market value is $100,000 now, which is just kind of crazy to think about that I have that much money in one position. But I think it's going to be fine. Jeppy and Devo, like, they really held up really good. I'm really proud of those guys. And you can see I have some other option plays here. Don't know if I mentioned it yet, but some of my plan going forward is I'm going to be using these dividend funds as collateral to sell a couple puts on SPY, something more passive. So I did a video about SPY and selling about 30 Delta. I liked how those turned out, and I like how it's not too much thinking needed to do that. So I want to sell like 1 or 2 contracts a month. Right now I'm just set up for 1 a month. And they paid out about $750 each. So it should be an additional $1,500 if I do 2 contracts a month, which will rival the dividend income, and that would become some significant money overall in the course of a year. All right, so here's my income sheet, and you can see my W-2 income. That's pre-tax. After all the deductions that come out and everything, it's more like $5,400 a month, if you're curious about that. And I rounded these to like the nearest $25 mark, so you don't have my exact number. You know, a little personal safety there. What I wanted to show is that every month, I do have money that goes straight into retirement accounts. You can see every month I'm paying $675 into like retirement accounts, and that's just something I want to like point out that it's easier to save early on and let that compound. Just start with whatever you can, and the key is just to get that monthly automatic contribution going that you never have to think about. And that's basically what happens with me here. And down here, I expect like a 1% raise. I know that's like a pay cut because inflation was 7.5%, but I'll probably just get a 1% raise, and that's kind of what I predicted it would be. We'll see when July comes. And again, I'll bump up my retirement contributions a little bit more. I used to contribute a lot more to like the 457 and the 403 plans, but last year decided to put that in the taxable account. In the event that I retire early, I want to have money that I don't have to worry about paying a penalty to withdraw. So that's where my focus went, is to contribute into that taxable account that you see me do all the videos on. Dividends, the first 2 months are in the books, and anything that's in brown is like an estimated number. And obviously dividends, we already talked about $16,000 potential income. Sometimes I do various gigs and stuff, but so far nothing's come up this year that I've done. Like I might do like an extra duty stipend or work for like another contract or another company as a contractor. YouTube and sponsors, I finally got monetized in YouTube, and I want to thank you guys for all that support. And in January, I made $86, and then in February, that number should be $545, and that's because I also had a couple sponsored videos. And even March, I'll have a sponsored video that comes out, I think it's March 14th. And when you see the sponsored videos, there'll be a little icon in the top left corner that says sponsored content. Just know that that's what that means, is someone paid me to make that video. So take everything with a grain of salt. Although I have turned down many of deals on shady companies that I don't know how people can shield that stuff. Anyway, for YouTube, I'm not quite sure how to like estimate how much YouTube would make every month, because I haven't had it that long. So I put 200. I think that might be conservative. Maybe 200 to 250 a month, and then depending on whatever sponsors I get, that might jump up 300 to 500 per sponsor kind of thing. Ko-Fi, I got a $6 tip in January. Like, I do enjoy when I get like that message that says someone tipped you a coffee. Like, it does make my day when I see that. I know it's not used that often, so it makes it that rare, and you know, it just brightens my day when that does happen. And then I do have Amazon affiliate, although since it's been up, I haven't made enough money to withdraw anything. I think maybe by the time June comes, I'll make $10 from it. So maybe this $10 here might be like really or hopeful thinking here. And then options, I'm predicting $1,500 going forward because I'm just selling 1 or 2 contracts of SPY. It's be like the main strategy, and that might generate like $1,500 a month, depending on how they have to get managed. And something I thought was kind of neat to look at was the sum of like the additional income might be like $44,000, and that's pre-tax. which is half of what I make at my job, and that's just crazy. And that's just because it's mostly just dividends and options income. Like, combining the two is just a powerful thing. And something else I wanted to mention was the reason why I want to switch to like the SPY strategies. I think it'd be more consistent. Whereas if you look at my previous history, you can see my options income like was wildly it changed drastically month to month. And like even in 2021, I had a lot of huge negative red months. And I want to have a little bit less volatility in the option income that I make. And I think the SPY strategy might be the way to do that.